What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Alex, Credit Expert. For those of you that have already been following, get ready because today I'm going to be dropping a lot of value, especially for those of you that are interested or might already be inside of the real estate industry. We're going to show you how funding can help you maximize profits along with a lot of other strategies. Now, for you guys that are new, go ahead and click the subscribe button. That way you guys can stay up to date for whenever I drop another video. I make sure to give you as much game and value as possible, where I teach you everything that I know about credit and funding to get you to that next level. If you guys aren't following me already on Instagram, go ahead and follow me. It's at Alex Credit Expert. That way you guys can stay up to date on my day-to-day life and also get the value that I may not be dropping on the YouTube platform. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and let's show you guys how you can take advantage of funding in the real estate industry. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to be talking about in the real estate industry is using funding to purchase property. So what do we mean by this? Remember, when we get funding, this pretty much means we are talking about credit cards, we're talking about lines of credit, and cash loans. Now, for our funding purposes, we are not talking about mortgages. Mortgages are a totally different product where you need to be approved by somebody that has a mortgage license. We are talking about the funding that you can get for yourself in order to get into the real estate field. So when it comes to purchasing property, realistically, we're going to be able to purchase property that is going to be about $300K or less. Only reason we say that is because depending on how much the property costs, you may be able to get it with cash loans, lines of credit, and credit cards. But if the property costs a lot of money, then usually you're going to need a mortgage to be able to purchase the property. So a lot of times I see people using their funding to purchase properties that are usually $300K or less. Depending on the state, you can buy land, $50K. Sometimes you can buy a property for $100K. So obviously it'll come down to how much funding you have available for yourself and what you'll be able to do. But that is the first way you can use your own funding in order to purchase property. Obviously, most of it will go up in value as the years come. And obviously you can do a rehab, a fix and flip, put money into the property, make it look nice, increase the value of it, and then sell it. But make sure with anything that you do business-wise, you know what you're doing. And if you don't, get a mentor so they can help you. But that is one way you can use funding in the real estate field to start purchasing property. Now, the next way you can use funding in the real estate field is for rehab costs. And let's say the repairs are probably going to cost you about $100,000. Well, the great thing is you can fund yourself $100K, and depending on your profile, if it's strong enough, you can get all of this at 0% interest funding. Now remember, the great thing about 0% interest funding is that you're not paying any interest to borrow this money. So this means that typically, if you did not have the $100K for repairs, you would most likely be going to a hard money lender or a private lender. These people are usually going to be charging you a lot of interest because they want to play it safe. They want to make sure that whatever you're spending, they're making a good return on it to make it worth lending to you. But since you're smart and you know how to get yourself funded, you instead get 0% interest funding and you use that money in order to buy whatever you need for your rehab costs. This allows you to maximize profits because you're not paying anybody for the money you borrowed. And the great thing too is you call the shots. This is your money. A lot of times when you're borrowing money from hard money lenders or private lenders, they want to see a list of what you're going to buy. They might even require an inspector to come out and then approve the transaction. This means you are wasting time because you have to wait for everything to get approved before they are able to give you those funds. If you have your own money, you are in control. So you're able to do things quickly. So remember, with your own funding, you have control, you max profits, and you can buy whatever you want. You don't have to wait on somebody to approve what you're trying to do. So that's an easy way that funding can be used for rehab costs. And remember, if you're buying supplies from a store, if that store takes credit cards, get yourself 0% interest credit cards and swipe them for whatever you need to buy. Now, the next thing we have is paying employees. Well, now you might say, I can't use credit cards to pay my employees, I need cash. Well, the great thing is you can get yourself funded through a line of credit or a cash loan. So we can get a LOC, which means line of credit, or cash loan. A line of credit will allow you to withdraw from that available line and deposit that as cash into your bank account. This means now you have cash to pay employees. A cash loan means when approved, they will deposit the money into your bank account and now you can use as cash. And again, the reason we love our own funding is because we don't have to ask anybody for permission. The line of credit, as soon as we need the cash, we withdraw it into the bank account. The cash loan, as soon as it's deposited, we have the cash to use. Now, obviously, once you make your returns, pay these things off, and you're able to use them again. And now this is a way that we were able to use our own funding in order to pay our employees. Now, the next thing, maybe you're trying to purchase a property that costs a lot of money, and maybe the funding that you got yourself was not enough to cover the investment or the deal you want to get into. What happens is now you can go to a hard money lender, or you can go to whoever's going to give you the rest of the money. In the real estate field, there's something called gap funding. What this means is that this term is used to describe the funding you need in order to enter a deal. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to buy a property that costs $1 million, right? Let's say it's $1 million for the property you want to buy. Let's say the hard money lender is willing to fund this deal as long as you come with 10% of that down payment. So 10% of the down pay. 10% of $1 million would be $100,000. This means the hard money lender or the private lender is willing to give you $900,000 as long as you come to the table with $100,000. This together combined is that $1 million you need to get into this deal. So what are you doing in this situation if you don't have $100,000 to put down? You are losing the deal. This is where funding can help you get into the overall deal itself. If you fund yourself, whether that's cash loans, lines of credit, or credit cards, you can then get this $100K to put as the down payment to enter the deal. Now you just covered that gap through funding. This is where that comes from. Obviously, if you're able to get into this deal, now you have the potential to make money. Whereas if you did not have this funding available, no deal. Super easy. We don't even need to go more depth into it. That's literally what it is. You have an opportunity now because you had the funding available. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is going to be down payment funding. Some of you guys might say, hey, can I use funding to get into a property and cover the down payment? The answer here is it depends. Some lenders are okay with you using funds to enter the down payment. Some other lenders are going to check where these funds are coming from before they approve it. But a strategy you could do is you could go ahead and get the down payment that you need by getting business credit cards. What this means is you could go ahead and get 0% cards from your business. Now, these products are not showing up on your personal credit. You can then liquidate the credit cards, meaning take the cash out of the credit card. Now what happens is you're holding this balance at 0% interest and you have this cash liquid. You can then use that cash to pay for the down payment to enter the property. Now again, it just depends. Some lenders will not allow you to do this because they know it's borrowed funds. Other lenders are okay with it. So double check what your lender requires. And if you are okay to use borrowed funds for a down payment, then you're good to go. The great thing is that since this is business funding, these business credit cards will not show up on your personal credit report. It's not going to affect your debt to income ratio. When you're in the real estate world, you want to make sure your debt to income ratio isn't too high because lenders will deny you. The great thing about business credit products, if you get the right ones, is they don't show up on your personal credit. So nobody sees the debt that's coming out, which means your debt to income ratio is not impacted. So this is the power of also using business funding in order to help with down payment funding, down payment assistance, whatever you want to call it. Let's say your lender will not allow the use of the borrowed funds. One thing you can actually do is if you have family or friends, you can get them funded. They can liquidate the cash or the credit cards, and then they can send it to you as a gift. Again, depending on your lender, they may want a certain amount of time for it to be seasoned so they don't check where it came from. But these are just ways and strategies of how you can use this funding in order to help you with the down payment. Now, obviously, talk to your lender, see what method would work and which one wouldn't. And I promise you, a lot of them aren't even thinking to this level of strategy. So this is why it's important that you know all the different strategies and leverage that you can use for your situation. So to pretty much sum it up for you guys, these are just some of the ways you can use funding for real estate. Again, it's going to enable you to purchase property depending on how much funding you have available. It's going to allow you to use this money for rehab costs. A lot of it can be put on 0% credit cards, which will help you maximize your profits and will help you save time because you don't have to wait for lenders to approve your decisions. You can just do it like that because you have the money. Also, you can pay employees. You can get a line of credit or a cash loan to have the cash liquid to pay them. Also, you can do gap funding. If you want to enter a big deal, but you don't have the down payment necessary, liquidate those cards, get yourself a cash loan, whatever funds you need to enter the deal, And then you can get creative. If you need down payment funding, you yourself could potentially get your money through the business side and then go ahead and use it on the personal side. Or you can have a family, friend, relative, get it on the business side for them and then send it to you. And then now you are able to get into this property or whatever you want to do with it. So this is how funding is used to make money. Remember guys, the reason we love funding so much is because we are able to use our credit to access the bank's money that nobody else was going to give us and that we don't have saved up to then get into investment opportunities, to conduct business, to make more money on borrowed money. This is the power of leverage, and this is what happens when you take time to build your personal credit and then use the funds properly. So this is just a little bit on the real estate industry. We'll be dropping more information on how you can use it in the real estate world in the future. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, click the subscribe button so you stay up to date with any future videos I drop, and leave a comment down below on what you think and what kind of other videos you guys want to see. If you aren't following me already, that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for the next one.